Great. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Kwaai Day. Happy Friday. It's the 18th weekly public meeting for Kwaai, and we've got some important news to announce to you today. So look forward to going to the details of that. We've got, I didn't see, was Afshin on the call as well? I think he is.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, great. Okay. Well, so Afshin, Matt, and I have been working for the last month or so on the filing documents for filing Kwaai as a non-profit corporation. Up until this point, we've been kind of a loose federation, a sort of an informal assembly of like-minded individuals. We really need to formalize that as a non-profit. And Afshin kindly provided us the starting documents from his previous non-profit from the COVID International Research Team. And so these are documents that have already been battle tested, I guess. And so for the last month, we put that out for review and comment. We've set a deadline last night, and we have that now finalized. Matt, why don't you walk us through the? Shall I go into the details of the documents? You got some slides you were going to share with us.
Why don't you take the next one, Riza, and just go through the organizing structure and kind of explain some of those.
Excellent. Okay, very good. So this is a good slide to talk to. Look, so the branches of the organization, there'll be three branches. There'll be a group of executive officers, and they will be running the day-to-day operation of the corporation, of the organization. There'll be a board of directors that elects the officers and re-elects them, re-elects other officers in their place. The board of directors are very formal. They oversee the governance and strategy of the organization. They meet in a formal setting, maybe annually, maybe quarterly, and they help guide they help set the bylaws, revise the existing bylaws, and the rules of operation. There is a bigger advisory council that advises on a day-to-day basis in a sort of ad hoc way, advises the executive officers, but also submits propositions for the boards to vote on. And so that structure that sort of tricameral type of structure looks very familiar. If you squint at it, there's an executive, there's kind of a Senate, and there's kind of a House of Representatives. Okay, we don't want to labor the analogy too much. But many companies, many organizations have a similar structure. For the purposes of filing this legal document, and we want to do it on Monday, we really only need to cover the top two, the executive officers and the board of directors. The advisory council, we will develop the governance of that later on. So we've got our filing documents completed yesterday. They're in the inbox of the board of directors. And I think the next slide, we're going to talk about who these individuals are. Is that the next slide?
Yeah.
Sure.
So no, I'll spend a little bit of time here before we introduce the board. Just kind of the volunteering, both as an advisor, as a member, as an observer. We will be updating kind of our sign-up flow as well. But all of you, many of you that are here made a selection when you first signed up, and we want to keep that as an opportunity for folks to join and select kind of how serious they feel about volunteering and participating. So what we'd love to welcome is additional advisors. If you are passionate about this area and you would like to organize a work group, lead a work group, lead members, help organize some of the engineering efforts. If you're on the academic research side and you're coordinating a research lab, would like to lead some research into a fundamentals area, or perhaps you're starting a policy think tank and documents there. So please, if you're interested in leading the thought leadership elements here, please consider becoming an advisor. We do.
Hey, Matt, could I just jump in? And as advisors too, I mean, people who have media contacts and PR, that'd be key too. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
No, absolutely, and that's exactly what what we need from the advisors right now. Is these strategic partnerships, strategic connections, introductions to folks. Bring some key folks into Kwaai over the next 6 months. That's going to be a really critical time period for this initial. Our initial organizing, and we are going to be looking for venture capital, whether it's from VCs, whether it's from other sources. As a 501c3, let's get those backwards. Thank you. As a 501c3, we can also solicit nonprofit donations. Maybe donations in kind of cloud time or developer resources. Thank you to Arcus Nexus here for being an early contributor in that way for Kwaai. And then, of course, talent recruitment. We do want to bring in additional advisors. We do want to elect new board members in an amount of time. Reason, maybe you could speak to that as well. But this is the time that we can get a little bit tighter organized, so we can go out and create a united front to attract the attention that we need. Members, you really want to volunteer and just get some work done. You want to do some research. You want to follow along and look into modeling causal networks as fluids with Riza. You want to get in, you want to put fingers to the keyboard and hack on elements of the Pi systems. You want to help with communications, as the PR piece and what Riza was saying before we started the recording about things like producing little video clips that we can share around. All of this is super critical to help us amplify our message. And we could really use some help. So if you're not a developer, plenty of things for you to do. We're all figuring it out together. There's no perfect here. So would love, if you have any interest in any of these areas, please let me know. And then, of course, there too, talent recruitment. And then as an observer, your role here is, keep us connected, stay connected to what we're doing, stay connected to these folks, and keep an eye on, what the advisors are doing, both at Kwaai, what the advisors are doing outside. Keep us honest about our values that we're putting into our organizing documents, to democratize AI, to make AI personal. And of course, please tell others about Kwaai. So, these are all areas where you can volunteer your time. Consider what you've signed up for. If you'd like to make a switch, if you're a member and you want to be an advisor, if you're not getting all the invitations in your inbox, you're probably an observer. And if you want to be getting those invitations, please let me know and become a member. Afshin, anything else to say here?
I was going to say also for international folks that, timing wise, we had talked about it a while ago about potentially forming international branches. So that could be something to discuss in the future too. And I know, Matt, we've just talked about it too. So
yeah, it seems natural that there should be an EMEA chapter, since we've got a lot of people either from the East Coast of the US or from the sort of European, Middle East, Africa time zone expanse. And I think there are specific issues that might actually be better discussed in those chapters. So in our founding documents, we anticipate international chapters, and looking forward maybe in the new year to start exploring that.
Awesome. And so without further ado, Riza, let's introduce the board members here. Do you want to just say quick note about the initial board decisions, the makeup here?
Yes, I will do. So look, this is the initial board. We tried it's larger than a normal sort of for-profit corporation. Our decisions about making a larger board is we think that a diversity of opinions leads to more stability. We've seen recent in the news instability through having a small board. Also, the sort of rules around how the board meets and what is a quorum and what is a majority and how voting takes place. We want to make sure that we don't have the sort of mechanisms that would create instability. So here are our initial board members. We are appointing them for a period of not to exceed 6 months. The anticipation is that we are going to, the initial board members will step down, and we will be electing board members to replace them. And to keep the organization vibrant and relevant, we want to have representation from the industry and have some heavy hitters in the space that would take up board seats. So this is an initial board. We've got these individuals, many of you know already.
I'll give folks a chance to say a few words to introduce themselves. I think Eunice is still off. I'll give him a moment. Brittany has been a development leader here. She's had some fingers to the keyboard since very early on and brings a very nice, fresh architectural mindset to the group. Brittany, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited about Kwai's mission, and everything they've done in the last 6 months has certainly reiterated what they're saying. This is very exciting. It's very exciting. So I'm just here to promote digital autonomy at the foundation of Kwaai and encourage us to think creatively.
And Brittany, thanks so much for your language that you added to the bylaws and the founding documents that help elaborate what our purpose is. So that was important.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, Brittany. Mike Rubin, great face. It's been with us for a while, product leader. Copious experience from the PC era and now applying that to the personal AI era. Mike, would you like to say a few words? I know your audio location is difficult.
I'm going to try, and I apologize. I'm in kind of a public space at the moment. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, great. Yeah, I'm really happy to be part of the organization. Thank you, Riza and Afshin, and Matt. You've done an amazing amount of work. I think Matt is like the workhorse of the organization for sure. But my background, as Riza said, or maybe it was Matt, I've spent a lot of time in the tech industry, been involved in kind of every major evolution from PC to internet to Web3 and now to AI. My focus really has been in the last several years on self-sovereignty of identity, the development of what it means to have a persona in the digital space, and what that means as we move into the world of AI. And that's what I'm passionate about and excited to help move this forward from an open source standpoint. So thanks again for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mike. I'll introduce Kai, who's not able to join this morning. Kai has been with Kwaai from the beginning, here as well, our fundamentals leader. Focused on research in improving causal networks through biological inspiration, and through that research to make baseline improvements that can make AI more accessible to more of us on more devices. So Kai has stepped up to join the group to join the board as well.
Matt, Kai just sent a note saying he's sick this morning. Sorry, he can't be on the call. I'll be partnering with Kai on that research into causal neural networks. He's approaching it from a biological angle. I'm looking at physics-inspired neural networks, and we're really excited about that. And Glad to have Kwaai on board.
Fantastic. Thank you, Riza. Ruth Rasul is our education leader. She was critical to help us getting the summit going at the College of the Canyons here. She's a leader in building partnerships with our institutional partners, as well as focused on AI in education, community development, as well as AI training and literacy, another big element of educational leadership that Kwaai needs to consider. Ruth, would you like to say a few words?
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, mine is very simple. My focus, I'm an English professor, and so my focus is on helping our students prepare for what comes after college. I teach in the community college where we held our first summit. So I'm interested in organizing some follow-up summits in other locations and preparing students for transfer to university, but then out into the big wide world, the big wide AI world.
Thank you, Ruth. And English is the hottest programming language, so you might be teaching computer science, not even know it.
Okay.
Selena Lewis. Selena's been helpful, super helpful on the operations side, helping us get organized. She's provided great perspective and leadership in our back office. Selena, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks, Matt. I am, like the rest of us on here, excited to be here. Excited about the growth that we've had over the last 6 months and what we've already accomplished with getting the board together and nonprofit in such a short time, and continuous leadership from Riza and Afshin is just a testament to the volunteer army that we've got here. So I'm excited to see what the next 6 months brings.
Thank you, Selena. Riza, our founder and chair. That's all I'll say. Riza, why don't you say a few words?
Sure. When I started thinking about this idea around about the beginning of the year, maybe end of last year, I discussed it with a few folks. I discussed with Eunice and I discussed with Kwaai and Afshin, and the notion of forming a collaborative lab. That's what the idea was initially. A collaborative lab to allow us to explore areas of AI that were not mainstream. The notion of its altruistic mission came along later on as I started to see that AI was potentially going down a dangerous path, and a monopoly was being formed, an oligopoly as it's called. And so I definitely wanted to make sure that the idea was something that was grounded in a collective set of opinions. I always find that we get more stability and more well thought out ideas if they come from a super intelligence. So that's not just my intelligence. A super intelligence is a collection of human minds. And I feel that if we structure the organization correctly, we can harness the intelligences of smart people that are all committed to a mission, and we will do the right thing. And this entity that we are forming is very different to a for-profit corporation that is typically led top-down in a sort of authoritarian way. And you simply have to have faith in the gut instinct of the CEO or whatever. That is the antithesis of the organization that I hope to chair. I chose the title of chair because it is somewhat passive. It's a non-executive role. I will be very hands-on, but I think my belief system is that I do not want this to be a cult following. And so it is a movement around an idea and a mission, and that's what's important. And so encouraging critical thinking and debate and harnessing the opinions of a collection of smart individuals, I think, is the way forward. And those are the structures. And I want the officers and the board to keep me honest to that ideal. And that's what we try to put into the bylaws of the entity. So there, I'm going to get off my soapbox. Back to you, Matt.
Thank you, Riza. Afshin, our co-founder and president.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. And I echo everything. When Riza approached me, you know, I'm a physicist coming into the AI world, not like you, hardcore programmers, so the life sciences. But I think when Riza approached me in the summertime about this, I thought this was a fantastic idea, and of course I embraced it. And Riza, being the charming person he is, he knows how to make it sound fun and appealing. So I imagine you guys probably think all the same. But yeah, so I mean, I'm in the science world, you know, I embrace open science, and this is exactly everything we talked about. Open science, like share everything. Everyone's a community, and this is how I do my work. As people, some of the scientists here have brought in would know that, and I think this is the whole concept of in the software world. I think you don't see it as much. And when Rita said this, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. This aligns perfectly with my views. And you got to do open science and everything, or open work, I guess we could call it open AI, not open AI, but open work. Open AI has already been used, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so I think that's the key thing here, and I hope to maybe help everyone here push along this with what I know with the science world and my philosophies. And as Riza says, you know, I'm here as your servant to try to make things work. So I don't see hierarchy as anything. I think everyone's equal. So everyone has the equal say, in my opinion. I think that's the way how Kwaai is being formed in the community, you know. So I'll shut up now and let Matt talk.
Thank you, Afshin. And I'm happy to be here, very happy to be here. Proud to have been asked to be the VP Secretary Officer of the corporation. Thank you, Riza. Thank you, Afshin. I caught wind of this early on. And what spoke to me, I mean, Riza was using all the language that all the other startups use. Hey, we're going to democratize AI. But what does that actually mean? And, you know, kind of thinking about his, you know, focus on, you know, caution on monopolization, looking at the potential futures. I've been in the cloud industry for long enough to see companies like Amazon and Microsoft and Google begin to suck up a lot of the oxygen out of the room. And, you know, this looked at AI, to me, felt like a sea change that needs to be paid attention to. And the timing may be right, and the appetite may be right for those of us that have been in the tech industry for a new sort of foundation. And in the same way that Linux came out as the Linux Foundation, came out with a fresh perspective, came out with a pure open source free software focus, and built a huge ecosystem around it. The opportunity to be involved in building something that could be the seed that could grow a jungle, you know, was too good to pass up, certainly. I love being involved with really smart people and being a sponge. I'm not a coder myself, but I do think that I just love to sponge the information and try to process that. I like to create slide decks and whatnot out of it. So I'm very happy to be here and serving in this capacity to support the current board as well as the future board. So thank you very much. So that's it for the introductions. You know, we do want to give some opportunity here to ask questions. You know, we'll go back to member voices for any folks that want to be introduced here. But, you know, just any questions about the founding documents and the topics that we've just discussed here, you know, please.
Hey, it's Jim here. I've got one quick question, which is around sort of the tying together of the overall manifesto with the founding documents and just how we think about that. I think that there's, not that there's lack of clarity, but there is definitely an opportunity for more defining clarity about like what kind of short-term and medium-term, long-term success looks like.
And can I expand on that too? Because Jim and I were talking about that was a couple of weeks ago, and I think that's I think reason we ended the white paper ended up being kind of it kind of got subtract to the nonprofit, but we definitely should circle back and think of ways to publish that somewhere.
Yeah,
you know,
we should do that. I'm gonna post in the chat exactly what it says in the founding document that we're filing, the corporate filing, about what the purpose of the corporation is. It says the purpose is for the corporation is to democratize the field of artificial intelligence, brackets AI, through the development of open source tools, promoting self-sovereign AI, semicolon, policy that better aligns AI with human values, semicolon, and research into fundamental AI that will result in models that are smarter, faster, and greener. That's basically the purpose. The rest of it is the boilerplate language. So it's this kind of three-legged stool of tools, policy, and fundamentals. And from that, we build out work groups that explore each of those. In the tools area, we're making fantastic progress with the pod and the pie concept, and there's Eunice's company has donated 6 developers, and we are working with that. We're harnessing the energies of other software developers in our group, and we're moving forward on that. So if you want to join that work stream, go through the whole membership thing and get yourself into those meetings. The policy area, we've got a slow start on that. I know there are lots of people that are qualified and are eager to participate in that, and we've had some early presentations of it, but I haven't seen the sort of formation of a work group with regular meetings and work product coming out of it. So that is a to-do. The fundamentals also, it's currently just me and Kai at the moment, and we'd like to harness the energies of others. I think what we need to do is produce a first stepping stone for others to come and step onto. I don't think everyone gets what the notion is, but rather than take up time here, that is what we've put into our document. Now, how do we make that accessible? That purpose, that expression of our purpose, how do we market that as a message that is digestible? I'm going to leave that to some of the other brilliant minds on the in the organization.
Thank you, Riza. And my apologies too. I realized I was waiting to see if Eunice was going to pop back on, but I skipped over Eunice's introduction. So just briefly as well, I wanted to ensure that Eunice, our engineering leader, Eunice is led with some very valuable perspective and knowledge in the development structure of the development here. We're also very grateful for Eunice's donation but from Arcus Nexus of those development resources as well as software licenses. So thank you very much, Eunice.
Right, and once we have our EIN number and we're formally a non-profit, then we can accept donations like code donations for people that want to open source bodies of code. I think that'll be super helpful. We've had early discussions with some of our partner members, and I think that'll be great. So we're waiting. We're going to file on Monday, and it'll take a while to get that. I think we can, as soon as we've actually submitted the filing, I think we are official at that point. Yeah.
Folks, any other questions here on the organizing documents, the mission, the purpose, the board, anything else here before we get to an engineering update from Cyan? All right, we'll save it for the member voices. Cyan, would you do you have a screen to share here? I don't think I've given you permissions, but maybe give us an update here just on how things went last week.
Yeah, for sure. So last week, we already have an MVP definition. And last week we started working on the spikes for the initial modules that we're going to be covering. Also, we have some architecture proposals. And the main thing that we're going to be working, and that it has been working during that has been happening during this week, is the research on the tools and frameworks technologies that we're going to be using to build up the whole communications assistant. Also, we have been forming these groups of development, like the back end and the front end, and dividing the efforts so we can accomplish everything together. And that's basically what we have been working and the progress that we have made until now. In the upcoming weeks, we're going to be seeing some POCs and some really good documents that we're going to be sharing in Confluence regarding what are we going to be building and how are we going to be building it.
Thank you, Cyan. And Cyan also posted a service account for Confluence and where a lot of this stuff is going to be posted. In order for us to not have to buy everybody a license here, please be kind, friendly, and responsible with that service account and the password. But Cyan's got it shared in the Slack, in the architecture work group Slack channel. So please pop in there if you'd like to get in touch. I wanted to offer Jim. You had been leading on some of these calls last week. Any additional thoughts for the weekly progress update?
Not at this point. I think there's a lot of great engagement this week. I think I would say it's kind of really ramped up a lot. I'm looking forward to the hackathon coming up after this call to go digging in more. Yeah, it'd be nice to, I think soon we'll have several kind of parallel work streams trying out different ideas to really identify what's the best fit for an early POC.
Awesome. And Balaji, you had posted kind of a demo video, showing an interesting, implementation. Want to say a few words about that?
Maybe even show it.
I was not prepared for a demo, but I can share the video. So essentially, I think the thought process here, based on several meetings I attended in the work group, is there a rapid prototype that we can do to demonstrate the vision of what this personal assistant looks like. And I just made a basic demo in a sense where you can use retrieval based augmented generation, RAG, to create some responses and see how that looks like in a sense where if I can talk to my inbox type of thing. That's the video I posted on the Slack channel. I'm hoping to, if there's a repository where I can check in the code, I'm more than happy to. I can clean up and put it up for others to play with, or even we can host it somewhere so everyone can play with it and continue to iterate through that. I'm also in the process of finding tools where we can evaluate this. In a sense, is the query matching the answer? Is it contextually right? Is it able to find the ground truth? And that's what I'm up to these days. So I'm just trying to complete the puzzle pieces in a sense, so we can have a sandbox.
Fantastic. Thank you, Balaji. And I posted a link to the Slack note. Please get in Slack. It's good. All the great happenings are happening there. And take a look at that video. Wonderful. Great update. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate that. Riza, any final words before we look at member voices?
Yeah, I just want to thank Eunice's company, Arcus Nexus, again for donating the Confluence. I think it was a total of 10 seats. That's a very generous donation. Thanks very much. And Balaji, your comment about code repository. Yeah, I want to make sure that there is a Kwaai code repository on GitHub, and we just need to get you access to that. And but I think we just need some organization and management around how we structure the repository.
Yeah, great. I think whenever it's ready, please point me there. I'm more than happy to. I'll add some comments and check in some basic code so everybody can take a look at it.
Great. Okay. Thanks so much.
Thanks for watching. Fantastic. And why don't we go next to member voices here? Great opportunity. If you'd like to provide some feedback, general comment, give folks updates as to what it is that you're working on. I do want to call, if you haven't spoke before, please do introduce yourself. We'd love to hear from you. I also want to ask Eunice to say a few words here as he's back on. Eunice, you missed the board introductions here. If you wanted to take a quick moment to introduce yourself and show the other members how it's done with the introductions, that'd be great.
I'm not sure what that means, but I think most people, I think, Matt, you're setting me up here. But Yunus Atif, I live and work in San Diego, CEO of Arcus Nexus. We're a nearshore software development company, partner of Kwaai, providing resources, make sure that we have enough resources to make some of these plans a reality. Been with Arcus for less than 2 years, but before that, I was a Salesforce consultant for 7 years. And prior to that, I spent more than a decade in the telematics business and another 5 years in the web hosting and search engine business. Background in finance and electronic commerce, but love technology and very, very excited about the future of AI and very excited about the unique value prop of Kwaai, democratizing AI. The gap between the no and no not. I think there's a new gap between AI and no AI, and bridging that gap and making sure that that gap is as narrow as possible is a great mission. And I'm personally invested, and the company behind me, Arcus, is invested as well in the success of the endeavor, and looking forward to seeing this thing thrive. And my dream is next year we'll have hundreds and hundreds of people joining these calls. And thank you for the opportunity.
Great.
Thank you, Eunice. Appreciate that. You did great. No setup at all. I mean, I set you up, but you managed great. I may start calling on some folks that I know haven't introduced themselves before. So if you want to, raise your virtual hand here and jump in and introduce yourself, that would be great.
Maybe we could start with Christian, all the way from Italy. I got you to join, so go ahead.
Okay. Yes, as I've been told to everybody, I am in Italy, so I'm very happy to participate in this discussion. And what about my background? I started to study AI in the early 97. Yes, so I can say that a little bit veteran about this matter. And now I am very happy because now AI is getting in progress and is everywhere. But as is the purpose of this group, need to be democratized. Sorry for my English, but I'm a little tired now. And I am totally agree with the purpose of this community. I would like to try to help this community with my background and also to spread the voice of these communities. So I believe that we should provide easy instruments open to everybody in order to join in the AI world in the most easy way. For example, now I'm working with my students in order to build a strict document and procedure in order to label imaging that may be used in AI, because the most difficult things is to produce a valid data set. All the people are fascinated by algorithms, but algorithms cannot run if the data set is not well done. So we should start to teach how to build a data set in the most right way with a specific procedure, because it is important to label the data set in different case, specifically when we treat image and so on. I am very curious about AI, still curious, and now I am very specialized in order to try cross platform with other science. So I try to collaborate with biologists, biochemistry, and the last passion is to collaborate with the psychologists, because I believe that NLP may be improved by them in their science. So I'm very curious, still curious. So I'm happy to be here. Sorry if I keep too much time.
No,
Thanks so much, Christian. Christian, the comment you made about spending more effort on the data sets than on the model itself is very, very important. Specifically, making sure your data set is well curated and is a good source of ground truth, and also is representative of the problem domain, statistically representative, so you don't have biases in there, and the tools to measure those biases and measure the health of your data set. We need to focus on that as well, and I'd love to talk to you about that offline.
Maybe one other thing, Christian, you want to bring up for outreach, your Forbes connection, because I think maybe our white paper can be with you somewhere that might end up. So I don't know if you want to mention that here too to people.
Yes. I believe that also we can try to leverage on Forbes, because into Forbes I am in the technology council, and also I am the group leader of research, scientific research and business. So we can try to leverage on it to try to keep found or to get involved with the businessmen of the most large company of the US, but not only US. So we will try to build a nice community. And also my project with my student is to build an open source labeling software in order to let it available for each person that want to try to collaborate, even if they are not scientists. But we need to do efforts in these sites, because algorithms are done. It is not so easy to. Sorry for my daughter.
Christian, now I want to talk to you even further, but separately, because I mentored a project at the University of Washington, a capstone project, and this is now 2 years ago, and I think it's very relevant for the things that you're working on.
Okay, I am available if you have some idea. I am very happy to try to support, to help, and to share my knowledge, and to learn at the same time, because we continuously learn.
That's good. Thank you.
wonderful. Thank you very much. Rahimullah, please.
Hey everybody, my name is Rahimullah Rahimi. I'm here up in the Bay Area, so I've been in the Valley pretty much all my life. Worked mostly in networking, cybersecurity stuff on the IT side. Moved into larger programs and projects around like data center developments and virtualization, all the usual stuff that slowly kind of moved around. So I've played with a lot of variety of technology, from hardware to software to, moving into the product space where it's about, okay, well, you see how a lot of this stuff functions and what business value it adds. What do you build and how do you build that? And then from building products to moving into solutions focused, right, which is more of a lot more closer to the GTM stuff, figuring out, well, just because you have a cool tool and there's a problem, is it being communicated correctly? Is there alignment? And are you partnering with the right partners? And so that's kind of been where I've been mostly for the past, I want to say 6-7 years, more on the business innovation side. So, yeah, so I think that's kind of a quick overview.
Thanks, Rahi. You've got an impressive background. I'm reading the notes field of the application of the response, the sign up form, and I'd like to talk to you further.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very much interested in like the innovation front, right? So like, how do we break it down? How do we look at what are the needs? And yeah, I'm very excited to see how it can help.
Great.
Thank you, Rahimullah. Appreciate that. I'm gonna start calling names if I don't see any more hands here of anybody wanting to throw in. There's one. Hey, Gus.
I knew you were going to do it anyway. My name is Gus Erickson. I'm a software engineer major from Oregon Tech. I worked at Legacy Health for 17 years, in software building stuff. Now I work at Les Schwab, and we're completely cloud. Matt, I was a Slackware open source guy. I own a copy of OS Revolution on DVD. So it's very big passion. When Matt put up that beautiful presentation, it caught my ear, and wanted to get involved any way I can. I've read a lot of Neil Stephenson in the past, so it kind of gets me, when I see this front coming, it kind of gets me terrified, and I think it's a good time to have an open source and a democratized AI, so it's equitable to everyone. We all can rise up with it. So very excited to be here with this group. You guys I've been watching the videos and just lurking for a while, trying to catch up before I committed. So
yeah, thank you so much, Gus. And I want to shout you out too. Gus hit me up, and sorry for not taking that hackathon off last week. I wasn't there, and apparently a few people tried to be. Including Gus, and Gus hit me up and said, well, I've been watching all the videos. And so thank you, for coming up to speed like that. And I also want to reiterate, to everyone here that's really important why we're doing this and this sort of these open meetings here, so we can bring people up to speed. And so, people can understand who we are and how we work. And so thank you for looking at those. And, thanks to everybody for being on these recorded meetings every week. Anybody else today would like to introduce? I see a phone number on there. Not sure who that is. I see Diego's on. If you'd like to give us an update on things, Diego, in academia land.
Hi everyone. So I tried to call everyone on the Slack on the general channel to join our AI for Life Sciences subgroup, but I haven't we had little success on that so far. It's just we have 4 people, including me and Risa. So I was waiting for people to join into that subgroup. So also inviting now everyone that is on this call. If you are interested in life science applications of AI, we in this subgroup we want to study problems that are relevant on that area, on biology, computational biology, or healthcare in general. I do work mainly on drug discovery, which is the process of how we discover medicines. And there are many open questions, and also how these new technologies like ChatGPT are going to influence healthcare in general. And that's, I think we want to define the important problems around that in the subgroup, and then start working on some research-oriented projects, right? So we say, okay, let's start with that. Let's start with play with some data sets and see where that goes, right? I think this is still very, very unexplored. So I think we have a lot of room for doing research and discoveries and contributions to Kwaai, right? And it's going to be open source. It's going to be, we want to publish things. So if you are also interested afterward in pursuing academia, applying for PhD programs, I think especially for students or people out there that are also in college, this is going to be very helpful. So all you need is probably some programming background, some interest, and you can jump in.
Great. Diego, you're up to 7 members now of the of your AI for Life Sciences channel. But what I think you should do is maybe start a weekly meeting on it, and we can move things forward. Yeah.
I'll set when to meet. Perhaps I can set when to meet on the that subgroup, and then yeah, we can agree on the best time for everyone. I don't know, how do you guys suggest to organize that?
They do a poll on the when to meet works, and then on the Slack, and then we should set up a meeting, or weekly, bi-weekly, however you want to do it, like Risa said.
Fantastic.
Wow, you're up to 9 now.
Yeah, fantastic. So Risa, I am also interested in the fundamentals that you were talking earlier, because I do work also on neural networks. Actually, on a project with Ashin, I had developed a new neural network for predicting small molecules for targeting microRNAs, which is a special type of molecule that we have within the cell. And this is a very difficult problem. So our paper is now on review in Nature Communication. So I'm working on the revision. That's why I have been a bit busy with that. But I am very interested. I also work a lot with theoreticals in the area of latent factor models and matrix completion. So I am not far away from the theory of machine learning. So I have some.
Well, okay, that's Diego, that's very exciting. My specific area is modeling a neural network using physics-inspired neural networks. It's in that class, modeling neural networks as a fluid and using fluid dynamics. And it turns out that within a certain range of flows, it's a causal network. And it actually gives you more insights into it than approaching it purely as a matrix math problem. If you have underlying physics behind it, it actually guides you into areas and starts to indicate where your model is going to hallucinate or stop converging, and how to stay within the causal path rather than just devolving into a Bayesian type of gosh, okay, I'm gonna stop talking there, but maybe what we should do is have a separate call about this.
Yeah, that's great. And Abdul Rahman as well, has been doing some work in synthetic data. Abdul Rahman, maybe we can hear from you at a future Kwaai meeting here, just about some of the work that you're doing there. We're just a few minutes from the top of the hour. I'm going to go ahead and ask Risa to wrap us up here.
Can I interject one question for you guys? If the community might be interested, like we do this with other groups, have a short, like we started doing this, having a short 15-minute talk about people's work. So like Diego talking 10 minutes about his work, a short elevator spiel. But get everyone, maybe Risa, you get excited, or getting Abdul getting excited, or Matt, or you can talk about your work for 15 minutes, I think that would be a kind of a neat inspirational thing, or Jim could talk about, I don't know what you guys think, but Risa, I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, I'd love maybe even 5 minutes next Friday, because I'm going to be presenting at Kwai's conference in San Diego on the 11th, and it'd be a good target for me to have a little rehearsal for this. And he's only given me a few minutes to present. So
read that for the lightning talk next week. That sounds good.
Okay. Are we wrapping up now? Thank you very much. Okay, we've got 2 minutes to go of this fantastic Kwaai day. Look, the train is leaving the station. It leaves the station on Monday. Please, those board members that have the filing documents in their inboxes, please sign. If you don't sign, we still file, and that would be a board vacancy, basically. So I encourage you to sign, and so that we can move forward. Of course, these are just the initial. It's the initial filing. We like to be an organization that makes promises and delivers on our promises. So let's get into that habit. Let's develop that muscle memory for not just making airy-fairy visionary goals, but to actually be specific and show ourselves that we can execute on what we said. So we set ourselves a goal of getting these documents done by the end of November. We did. Last night was the deadline, and we submitted it. And so let's have that habit. And it's a muscle memory that an organization develops, and we can feel proud of ourselves. And then we can plan and make predictions of what we're going to be doing in the future. I look forward to this day, and more and more. And over the next month or so, I'm going to be investing a lot more energy into Kwaai. I'm looking forward to this very next call, which is the hackathon call. But Mondays and Wednesdays are now filling up with other workstream meetings, and I'll probably kick off a weekly meeting around AI fundamentals as well. Great. So I'm seeing lots of lots of emojis flying. Thanks so much. And if you've not been called out, speak up next time. We'd like to get a lightning talk about what you do. And here's what I'd like. I'd like immediately all those people on the call that have got video expertise, start pulling down the videos that we've already posted in the Kwaai events page, pull those down and start extracting little bites of it, shorts out of it, maybe only 60 seconds, maybe less than that, and post those. You can post it on LinkedIn, steer people towards Kwaai. Let's bring more voices to the table, and looking forward to growing the organization. I'm already a minute over, so feel free to exit. I'm going to talk you out, and I'm going to be hopping on to the next call straight away.
Thank you all. Have a great day.